here we had just before. Here you have the minus 15. My foot are minus 17 meter. We are in Brazil, and you look up to the sky. So here is where we put cameras and windows to observe roots, because roots are growing down there. So the first question is, why studying roots down there? Maybe we are a little bit crazy, or maybe because nobody or few people wants to study that. Maybe because we are crazy. Okay. But the reason is that for me. Usually when you study roots, you study on the top soil, and you measure architecture, diameter, branching density, speed of growth. We put mini rhizotron, even deeper. And when you put all this data into the model, like this, where we try to simulate a root system of an entire tree. We measure we simulate the higher part of the tree, and we want to simulate the root system at the same age. And what we simulate at this example, 20 months old, we expect roots at the depth of 5 meters by simulation. But when we go to the field, and at the same age, we observe that the depth is not 5 meters deep. For the deepest root is twice more. So what is going on down there? So that's why we study, and it's not the only reason, but it's not the reason for the root architecture to study deep root dynamics. It was the first topic why we study roots down there. And then is what we learned. By the deep pits, we install mini rhizotrons. Here is mini rhizotron or scanners or windows. And if you look at these two images taken from 1 year, between at 6 meters deep, you can see there's a lot of roots. The roots produced 1 year before are still there, still are increasing in diameter at that depth. Was pretty interesting. And what we found for this new cohort on the image here, 1 month later than the previous one, that if you follow this, for example, these 4 roots, you find that they cross around the 20 centimeter, more than 20 centimeter of the windows of the mini rhizotron tubes. First, there is a great variability between all the roots, and then the speed of growth is really huge at that depth. And when we monitor all the soil depths, we thought that we have a decrease of soil. This is it's not the speed of growth. Here is cumulative root length production on the tubes. So it's just just a way to see if there are a lot of roots produced on our tubes. We have a great increase at depth, but here you have the relative root elongation rate here to the depth. You can see that there is a slight increase, and the maximum what we observe is more than 3 centimeters per day. So we have a significant increase of fine root production at that depth. It was the first result, and a significant increase in dynamics. That's what could be explained why we have roots deeper than we expect, that the model expects. So now, I will present some different results that we found. Here for root density, we have a classic shape of decrease in root density to depth, but what you can see is also eucalypt in Brazil, 2 years old and 4 years old in open circle. There is a slight increase at 6 meters deep, the place where we have the mini rhizotron. But here we go to 15 meters, and we have a little increase at that depth, because at that depth is the place where we have water table. in this plantation. And here, if you look at the soil water content, you can clearly see that there is a great increase in uptake at that depth by a really tiny root density at that depth. So small amounts of roots can uptake a lot of water with time, of course. Now, I want to present you some results in eucalypt, also in Brazil, but looking at the rhizosphere. In this plantation, we create a drought effect by removing 1/3 of the precipitations. And here is the control, so it's the normal condition. What we saw when we look at the rhizosphere content in carbon organic content in the rhizosphere, we saw that we have a slight increase with depth when we compare the topsoil to the deeper than 1 meter, 1 meter to 4 meter deep. So we have a significant rhizosphere effect for the carbon, organic carbon concentrate in the rhizosphere. And if we look in the drought treatment, where we remove 1/3, 37% of the precipitation, we saw that this accumulation of organic carbon increased more, even for 3 times in the deeper horizon. And we found the same trend for nitrogen, but with lower value. So this accumulation of organic matter and nitrogen could be, as we hypothesized, the root coming from root exudates, but it could be also the absence or the low activity of microbial activity that degrades the organic carbon. So we have to test this, and what we are going to do in cellular. So this accumulation was increased by truffle reduction, and particularly at great depths. That's a key message. If we are looking at now the nutrients and potassium, we have the same trends, but with more higher value, higher differences in the rhizosphere compared to the bulk soil in the control. But in the drought treatment, we found even 7 times more potassium accumulation in the rhizosphere. So we think that the activity of weathering of that roots in this particular horizon may be higher than in the topsoil. Either there are, we found less roots than on the top horizon. It's quite a certain plasticity of this root system. So significant accumulation of protons. I'm sorry, for the pH, we found a significant acidification in the rhizosphere in open cycle compared to the triangle, which are the bulk soil. And this was increased in drought conditions. So both significant accumulation of protons, so acidification, and available potassium within the rhizosphere was found particularly at great depths and in drought conditions. So we hypothesize that this acidification might increase the accumulation of potassium in the rhizosphere during a period through weathering processes. Now let's look some images of morphology and anatomy of these roots we found when we dig the big pit. We found first ectomycorrhiza mycorrhiza in a very deep horizon. We was surprised to find that, and we published just last month in this paper. We found something like a very strange tip, picture. I don't know if you find this kind of tip with no root cap, with something very strange. We found a lot of hairy roots with root hairs on very sublimated woods. We were surprised. Even we found root hairs on very differentiated woods with branching on the branching zone. So I showed this picture to specialists of root hairs. They are really surprised to find that, maybe because of the condition of water condition at that depth, 15 meters. It's on top of the water table, not so far, but not in the water. So now let's look at the anatomy. What we found, we compare different fine roots, but with the same diameter, with the same distance between the tip, and the same age. Here is all juvenile fine roots, so the white roots. What we found is the increase in the iron-chema zone. Here you see we are all in the root hair zone. You have the root hairs, root hairs, root hairs. So we are the same distance from the tip. You can see that the protoxylem is differentiated here and less there. So the roots down there looks more differentiated. It's what we thought that with a big iron chema, meaning that in that typical condition they need oxygen because of the oxygen content should be low. We didn't measure, but as the water content should be high, we found that for these juvenile fine woods and for the old fine woods, because the fine woods are very old and the lifespan of the woods are different. I didn't present here the result, but here is quite interesting to find is that all the cortical part disappear. There is no one is classical for the old fine woods. So here you have only the inner part of the root, the conductive part of the root, with a lot of metaxylem vessels here on the topsoil, and here the number decreased, but the size increased. What we found for several roots we cut, and at the same diameter, it's important to say that, we compare the same roots and we expect that these roots are the same age. This is more easier for the juvenile than for the old one. So we found wider vessels, fibrous and parenchyma cells distributed over a larger area in deep roots than compared to shallow roots. We have fewer but larger xylem vessels in deep roots that suggests an improved water transport in that horizon, and maybe from that horizon to the deepest horizon. I'm not a specialist of conductivity, hydraulic conductivity. I think that the diameter could be a problem with embolism, but at that depth, I don't know with that condition. So it's a topic that we need to look at. So all here the take-home message, deep message. So I don't read again. We check with other trees. Peter, we show you a result for you, the coffee tree in Costa Rica, and we also find some trade-off in dynamics of roots in walnut trees in southern France with winter growth, with an increase in the dynamics at depth. We are studying now in Africa on acacia, so we think that all these territorial strategy providing access to resources is a plasticity of the root system at that depth, because the conditions are changing at that great depth. Okay, we are below 10 meters, and suggesting an ontogenic determinism in addition to the effect of the environment on the deep fine wood colonization. So, and to what our perspective in our group is to study this deep carbon input in the soil through these roots and through coming from exudates and fine root litters, particularly at great depths. And what is the impact of carbon sequestration? And we are studying this, and Isabel will present you just after me, or later in the morning, in the context of agroforestry systems in Africa and in France. So what are the biotic interactions at the wood-soil interface at depth? We found mycorrhizal, but are there microorganisms? What are the quantity and the biodiversity of this microorganism at that depth? So it's a challenge to observe that. We have windows, and we are open to collaboration, and in the place where we work, in Brazil or in Africa. So you are welcome to come and help us to describe it and to characterize this. And the last topic is we are studying the hydraulic, what Alan talked about just earlier, the hydraulic and nutrient lift from deep roots to the top layers in agroforestry system, where we demonstrate and we characterize that the benefits of trees with crops by the uplift of nutrients and water. So that's it.